Hello everyone. I want to take a few minutes to review the deliverables of this course and maybe help clear up some confusion. First of all, let's go to the syllabus. It's page 6 of 18 where we address the grading scale, and it shows the list of assignments that are required for this course. Assignment 1 is the project proposal, Assignment 2 is the project charter, and Assignment 3 is the project presentation. Now, when you see this, you may ask some questions that are legitimate questions, and that is, wait a minute, a proposal is happening before a charter. Doesn't the project management framework first begin with maybe a simple scope statement and the project charter? Well, if you ask that question, that is a legitimate question to ask. It does look like these assignments have kind of a chicken and egg relationship with each other. The charter normally comes first. Then you have a scope statement that's associated with the charter. Then you elaborate the scope with the work breakdown structure that identifies exactly what you are going to do in the project. But the assignments in that respect are maybe could be worded better, but let's discuss exactly what the intent of each assignment is, even though the way they're labeled may make them a bit unclear. For example, assignment 1, what are you being asked to do? Remember, a proposal is you're making the argument for a project to be funded. Okay, you're requesting that the organization support and fund this project and authorize you to actually do it. So you're going to have to justify why it makes sense for the business. So that's what you see here. You're going to justify the scope, time, and cost has been defined sufficiently so the sponsor agrees with the cost benefit and outlines the implications of not approving the project. So keep in mind that if you're making a proposal, you've only done limited work to be able to answer questions 1 through 10 fully. Remember, everything you have at this point is more or less intelligent guesswork, or perhaps you'd call it an estimate, because you can't really know how much something is going to take unless you've done the complete plan. And usually that only happens after the proposal has been approved. So you're going to start off with explaining how you came to the conclusion that this project should be done. A project portfolio management method that you see here highlighted. The project portfolio management method is simply a way of choosing which projects you are going to do and which projects you are not going to do. Sometimes you might use financial metrics like cost benefit or net present value or a scorecard method or a checklist method. Anyway, any means that you use to decide what projects you're going to do and what projects you're not going to do, that's simply a portfolio management method. So that's a very advanced way of saying something very simple. Then you outline exactly what your project is going to do. You share the vision and goal of the project. Keep in mind, make it measurable, attainable, realistic. Keep the scope narrow. Remember, a key reason why projects fail is due to scope and scope creep, so you have to keep it narrow. Determine 5 major deliverables. Remember, at this point, it's a proposal, so you'd be stating what you intend to deliver, not what you know for certain you can deliver. Time frame, here we're dealing with an estimate. Again, a table of resources, generic resources, people, equipment. I'm thinking when you first approach this assignment, you may panic and think, well, wait a minute, how am I going to know exactly how many people or how much equipment I need? Remember, this is a proposal, so these are just estimates at this point. You can't know this in detail until you do further planning, which is why it may be a little unclear to you how you can know this information. Well, you can't fully, so it's just an estimate. Estimate the total budget. Notice the keyword estimate. How much do you think it will take? You may wonder, how am I going to do that? Well, usually costs are added to a project based upon adding resources to the project. So cost follows the resources you assign to a project. So if a particular person or equipment costs so much per hour, how many hours, how many days, how many weeks, multiplied times that unit of cost, that's in general how you will arrive at an overall estimate. What are the key success criteria for a project? How do you know you're successful? And then use at least 3 quality sources in this assignment. There are many web-based sources. You can, if you're a PMI member, and I'd encourage you to be a student member, you can find the PMBOK guide. There's also the practice standard for the work breakdown structure. There's a lot of interesting standards and materials you can use to help build this. So before you panic on the project proposal, realize that most of the details it's asking for are estimates. Remember, charter is listed here as coming second after the proposal. So really you're arguing for how you decided to do what you're going to do. That's the portfolio management method. What are some estimates to the best of your ability, because you're making the case for why this project should be authorized, and that authorization comes next with the project charter. So I thought I would help you get started with this and maybe try to clarify a little bit about this assignment. Again, welcome to BUS 517. I look forward to working with you this term, and let me know your questions.